So moving on to section 3.2, prescription directions. So dose. It's very important to follow the SIGNA, which it's basically the direction of the prescription. So the SIGNA consists of 3 elements: the dose, the route administration, and the dosing schedule. So the dose is how much medication the patient will take at each administration. It is generally expressed as the number of units, so either tablets, capsules, and amount of the drug, so the weight in milligrams or grains, or the volume of the medication, such as ounces or tablespoonfuls. The route of administration, so how is the drug to be administered? The route of administrations include oral, so that means by mouth, injection into the veins or into the muscles or under the skin, or rectal, or topical if it's in the eyes, ears, skin, or mucous membranes, and among others. Okay. Then the dosing schedule, how often the drug is to be taken, and in some cases, how long therapy is to be continued. Abbreviations. The easiest ones to start with are the ones that indicate how many times per day a patient should take a medication. Such abbreviations include BID, which means twice a day, TID, 3 times a day, and QID, 4 times a day. The abbreviations are sometimes written in lowercase letters and sometimes written in uppercase letters. The letter Q means every and is sometimes placed in front of another abbreviation. It could be, for example, Q6H, meaning every Q, every, and then 6, and then the number H stands for hours, so every 6 hours. Table 3.2 lists some common abbreviations. So sometimes you'll have, for example, AC, which means before meals. And then you have AD, which means right ear, AS, left ear, AU, both ears, AM in the morning, DAW, dispense as written, D/C means discontinued. Let's see, H or HR means hours, HS means at bedtime. What other common abbreviations? WK means week. UD means as directed. Let's see, STAT means immediately. QS, sometimes used for volume solutions, is quantity sufficient. Like I said here, Q2H means every 2 hours, or just QH, every hour. So OU means both eyes, OS means left eye, OD means right eye. Okay, so these are some of the common abbreviations. So directions for patients. So most patients are not familiar with these abbreviations or what they stand for. So whenever we are to fill the prescription and write it onto the label that the patient's going to take home, we have to translate that SIG from abbreviations to actual written information. So that written information is what we'll be placing on the dispensing packages so that the patient understands those directions. Sometimes descriptive terms are added if appropriate. So sometimes, for example, especially for narcotics, let me go back. So that descriptive terms, we have to add that into, it's part of the law of California, that we have to add the description of the medication. So if it's a tablet, if it's a round tablet, so we'll put round tablet, the color of the tablet, if it's white, and if it has any markings on the tablet. Okay, we need to write that into the directions. I mean, not the directions, but into the label of the medication we're going to be sending home. So even with appropriate prescription instructions translations, patients may still require additional assistance. For example, when patients are receiving liquid medications, doses are often given in mLs. So most patients are not familiar with the measuring volumes in mLs. So there's some special dosing devices out there, such as syringes, spoons, cups, are often used to help patients. So for example, this picture of a cup, we will explain to the patient the dosing information according to the label. And then we can tell them, okay, measure up to this amount, and therefore that's the dosing that you will take. If it's a syringe, draw it out from the syringe and tell them up to when do they have to measure it. If it's 2 mLs, 3 mLs, the whole syringe of 5 mLs. Okay. So that's also part of our job to make sure that they understand. So here's a dosing spoon, and maybe this is perhaps used for children, and this syringe may be used for even smaller children. So again, this dosing will probably be on one side mLs, on the other side teaspoons. Here the syringe is only measured as mLs, or sometimes referred to as cc. So let's go over some. Write out the meaning of the most common abbreviations used in prescription. So BID means twice a day or twice daily. DAW, dispense as written. And AS, left ear. So you can think it of as audio, and as left. So audio, so meaning ear. So that's the end of the chapter. Let's review the summary. So in this section, we've learned, in this chapter, we've learned that prescriptions can arrive at the pharmacy in many forms: electronically, handwritten, typed, fax, or via telephone or voicemail. Prescriptions must be checked for validity before being filled. So you have to make sure that all the information is there: patient information, physician information, the sig of the medication, the quantity of the medication, the signature of the patient, when the prescription was written. All that information needs to validate it before you fill the prescription. Patient information should be complete on the prescription to meet the safety, the legal, and insurance requirements. The DA numbers can be checked for validity by using the formula and performing the calculations we've learned. Drugs are identified on prescription using either brand or generic name. Drug labels contain the standard information, meaning the generic name of the drug, brand name if there is one, the strength per unit dose form, the quantity enclosed, the manufacturer's special handling or storage instructions, and the NDC number. Some drug labels will display the strength per unit in several different manners. Quantity to dispense may need to be calculated if the prescriber does not indicate the amount to be dispensed. Day supply should be calculated to meet the needs of patient according to the duration therapy indicated by the physician. Number of days is also very important for insurance purposes, because most insurance won't allow more than a 30-day supply. So sometimes physicians will write for more than 30 days, so you have to adjust the calculation of the medication of quantity that you're going to dispense to meet those 30 days with the insurance company. Day supply may be entered into the patient's record and submitted to insurance for every prescription. Prescriptions are written using shorthand that consists of many abbreviations derived from initials of Latin or Greek phrases. Prescription instructions for patients are called SIGNA or SIG. The route of administration for medications should always be specified on the prescription or medication order. If the route of administration is not specified, you have to call the physician's office and clarify. Anything that is missing from the prescriptions need to be clarified by calling the physician's office or the hospital if that prescription is coming from the hospital. Do not use abbreviations, should be avoided. And this concludes the section for chapter 3. Again, if you have questions, please go ahead and email me. I'll be ready to help you guys and assist in any way that I can. Okay? So this again concludes chapter 3. Bye-bye.